So the FTC has come down on, I always say Machinima.
was one of the largest. I think it's in the top 3 YouTube networks. We spoke about this briefly, and I think in the fall, how in the UK's form of the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, was starting to come down on YouTubers in the UK, saying, okay.
Basically what happened was there was in the lead up to the release of the Xbox One, Microsoft offered Machinima content creators the ability to do basically adverts for them in exchange for money.
It's supposed to be sponsored videos.
With
individual YouTubers on their network.
And I would point out that even though I don't love big corporations, Microsoft, looking at the rules and all that laid out,
it's fine.
They followed. They covered their asses. What Machinima did was, I think they blatantly told them not to acknowledge the fact that this was pay for play. And so what you had was a multiple weeks or a month worth of videos that were casting the Xbox One in a supposedly fantastic and amazing light, but people were making $15,000 per video. So
what was happening was big YouTubers, and this happens now. This happens with mobile games. It happens with indie games that YouTubers are paid money to play games or to give reviews, which is fine as long as it's disclosed clearly that it's a sponsored video. Clearly. Somewhere in the description, somewhere in the title, that this is a sponsored video.
Wear a goddamn t-shirt that says, I am currently being sponsored while making this video.
Not saying you can't make money, but there's rules to follow to prevent stuff like this to happen where consumers are fooled thinking, oh, my favorite YouTuber loves the Xbox One. I'm going to buy one too. That's called deceptive advertising. And that's why Federal Trade Commission exists, so that they protect the consumer base from this type of bullshit from happening. You can say, oh, buyer beware. No, it's not exactly that, because when you look up to people, or there's people out there that are advertising something and you're not sure about it, now we're talking about fraud. We're getting to a fraudulent activity.
Let's say there's a movie reviewer that you feel like you really click with, and then all of a sudden you start going to see a couple movies this person's recommending, and you're like, wait a second, this sucks and is nothing like what they said. It's the same sort of deal. You build up these trusting relationships, and you take their opinions because you think their opinions are similar to yours.
So these are called influencers usually for things like that. You're an influencer to this market of a product that we're buying. So they weren't. The YouTubers didn't adequately disclose what they were promoting. So usually when you get these, how this works is, a lot of times they have to be pre-approved by the final company, but a lot of times they don't care as much about, as long as they'll say clearly, though. They'll say clearly, you have to say this video was sponsored by this.
Yeah.
They say that because these big companies don't want to get in trouble, that are dishing out hundreds of thousands of dollars for this. So you're saying that they told the YouTubers not to do that? Not to put that in the video?
I'm sorry. I seem to remember from the previous time we covered it that the big problem was that Machinima had sent out an email that basically had said that they weren't supposed to talk about it.
Or at least Machinima is required at least to tell their YouTubers that the sponsorship is clearly disclosed.
Right,
so maybe they failed to do that. Maybe they failed to say these are the rules. This is what you have to do. Because the legit ones nowadays make sure that is said clearly. But here's what I'm gonna say here. This ain't all on Machinima. I'm putting this also on some individual YouTubers that should know better.
Or should have
they should know better.
Ethics.
They should know better that if I'm getting paid $15,000, you're not a small YouTuber, by the way.
No.
So you have a large fan base. If you're getting paid $15,000 to do a shill review, you have to at some point say, I should disclose this, because I can have hundreds of my fans, if not thousands, buying this product because I'm saying it, and they don't realize I'm getting paid for it, regardless of what if their review is positive. If they're paid or not, that's regardless of that. It's an ethical situation, as we just said.
Well, I can't find anything that's linking back to what we discussed the first time, but I was under the impression that it was a fairly well worded thing to.
Oh, you can read the full complaint against it. So this goes back to probably Machinima not disclosing it, the YouTubers not putting it on there, and no one following up. No one at Machinima looking at all these videos on YouTube and saying, "Whoa, we can't have these published because it's not there." So this was like the safety that should be in place anyway wasn't there,
Right.
We spoke about this before, where there's a lot. This happens all the time now with YouTubers. A YouTuber can get paid $6,000-$7,000 to do a 5-minute playthrough on a mobile phone app. Again, if they disclose it, that's absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not hating on how you're making money, but you got to disclose it. You got to eat. I disclose my Loot Crate unboxing. I say it's paid for. This has been sponsored by Loot Crate. I have to say that. Otherwise, I'm not just shilling for the heck of it. I do like Loot Crate.
I just bit my lip so hard.
Why?
Well, because sometimes I say
about my Loot Crate?
No.
About a YouTuber getting paid money to do a video
and then complaining about it. Yeah. Anyways, whatever.
Well, that's some YouTubers don't know how good they got it with.
No, they really don't.
Playing shitty mobile games for 5 minutes.
Oh my god, I have to do 4 hours worth of work for $7,000. My life is fucking awful. Woe is me. Anyway.
So I wish I had that, but anyway. So this goes back to I always bring up the infamous. Might have been 2 years ago too, on the 360 when they did that summer of Microsoft Xbox Live Fun, and you had this is on Polaris though. Maybe it was Game Station at the time, playing a week of playing shitty download games like that awful Ninja Turtles game, and you have them on a couch like, oh, today we're playing Ninja Turtles, and it's like, you didn't get up in the middle of your August summer and say, I want to play a shitty Ninja Turtles Xbox game.
Right.
Just because. You're getting paid for it. You're getting money for it. That's all. I'm not trying to hate, just saying you got to disclose this to the common man, because a lot of people are dumb, don't realize when they're watching something, may not be the truth.